So, you want to find the real flavor of Taipei? Forget the fancy restaurants. The true heart of the city's food scene? Well, it's beating in its legendary traditional markets. Today, we're diving into an epic culinary showdown between two of Taipei's most iconic spots, Beitou and Dongmen. Let's get right into it.
And that's the big question, right? Where do you find that authentic taste? Is it hiding in the loud, beautiful, old-school chaos of a market that's packed with locals? Or is it found in the quiet, refined alleys of a more hidden culinary treasure hunt? Well, we're about to find out.
So let's meet our two contenders. In this corner, we have Beitou Market, a true food haven for locals. And in the other corner, Dongmen Market, which is more like a refined treasure hunt for some seriously exquisite bites. These are two markets with two totally different vibes, telling two very different stories.
All right, first up, let's jump into the energy of Beitou. And I mean energy. If you're expecting something quiet and tidy, think again. This isn't just a place to buy groceries. It's a living, breathing piece of Taipei history where every dish is packed with tradition.
I mean, just feel the vibe here. Beitou is actually Taipei's oldest and largest traditional market. It's loud, it's bustling, and it is completely unapologetically local. You know, a lot of these stalls have been run by the same family for generations. So you're not just eating food, you're literally tasting history.
Okay, so where do you even start in a place like this? Well, you have to begin with an absolute legend, a Zai Zai braised pork rice. We're talking about Lu Rofan. And let me tell you, this is not just any old rice bowl. This is considered a national treasure.
No, seriously, it's so famous that even CNN called it out. The secret is that signature black gold pork belly, which is slow braised until it's just unbelievably rich and fragrant. Now, here's the most important thing you need to know. Get there early. This stuff is so popular it almost always sells out completely by noon. You've been warned.
Next up, you're gonna have to navigate the crowds and head deep into the market for this one, but trust me, it's worth it. It's the ultimate comfort food, Jianji pork rib crisps noodles. If that braised pork was rich, this is just pure soul-warming goodness in a bowl.
And just listen to how they make this. The pork ribs get marinated, then deep fried so they're crispy, and then they're steamed with winter melon until they are so tender, they literally just melt in your mouth. And it all comes together in this rich broth that has a really distinct peppery kick. It's incredible.
Our third must-eat is a place that's become a local legend for a pretty funny reason. Hanji pork thick soup is so famous, it actually upstages the other amazing food that the shop sells.
You gotta love this. There's a running joke with the locals that this is the braised pork rice shop that got delayed by its pork soup. Why? Because the pork thick soup, the Ro Gang, is just so legendary that it completely stole the spotlight, even though their braised pork rice is also fantastic.
Okay, you cannot leave Beitou without getting a drink. And here, that means stepping into what they call the Great Tea Battleground. You've got three legendary shops, Gaoji, Mingquan, and Kai Yuan Yi, and they're all in this friendly but fierce rivalry. Their specialty? This amazing old-school black tea that's served in these huge, iconic plastic bags. It's just a classic, nostalgic Taipei experience.
All right, take a deep breath. We are about to do a complete 180. We're now heading to Dongmen Market. And if Beitou was this loud, joyful, chaotic party, Dongmen is a quiet, elegant treasure hunt. So why is it so different? Well, it all goes back to its history. Dongmen was the market that served the families of political and military elites. So the food here has this more refined, mainland Chinese influence. The stalls aren't all packed together. They're kind of scattered through these little alleyways, which makes it feel like you're on a real-life mission to discover hidden gems.
And speaking of gems, Dongmen has its own epic rivalry. You have to meet the rice noodle soup duo, Huang Mama versus Luo Mama. They're set up directly across from each other, and the locals are fiercely loyal to one or the other. Both are famous for these light, crystal-clear broths and amazing side dishes. You pretty much have to pick a side.
Now, if you want a little taste of star power, this is your spot. Dongmen Xingji is the place for handmade dumplings and, well, they have some pretty famous customers.
That's right, this is reportedly the go-to dumpling spot for the screen legend Brigitte Lin. So what makes them so good? It's all about the craftsmanship. We're talking paper-thin skin, super generous fillings, and seasoning that is just spot on. It's a little taste of old-school glamour.
Of course, you can't leave without dessert, and this place is an absolute classic. Jiangji Dongmen Douhua has been serving its signature tofu pudding, or douhua, for over 40 years. Think about that.
And after 4 decades, you know they've perfected it. The key here is the texture. It's described as being unbelievably silky and smooth. It just dissolves in your mouth. It's proof that sometimes the simplest dishes are the most amazing.
And for our last stop in Dongmen, we're going for something seriously savory. If you're craving classic Hong Kong-style roasted meats, there is one place you absolutely have to go: Dongmen Duck Farm.
I mean, come on, just look at that. This place is legendary for its perfectly executed Cantonese roasts. You've got the glistening oil chicken, the rich roast duck, and that sweet, savory char siu pork. It is an absolute must-try and a true pillar of the Dongmen food scene.
Okay, so we have tasted our way through both markets. We've experienced the bustling energy of Beitou, and we've hunted for treasures in the quiet alleys of Dongmen. Now, it's time for the final showdown. Let's put them head to head.
So let's really break it down. When you think about the vibe, what are you looking for? That bustling, nostalgic local energy of Beitou, or the more refined, orderly treasure hunt of Dongmen? And the history. Are you drawn to Taipei's oldest and largest market, or a place with roots serving the elite? And finally, the flavor. Hearty, generous Taiwanese comfort food versus delicate, handmade, exquisite flavors. They really are two completely different worlds.
So how do you choose? It's actually pretty simple. If you are looking to dive headfirst into a loud, energetic, local experience with huge portions of classic comfort food, then your perfect match is Beitou Market, no question. But if you prefer a quieter, more culinary exploration to discover some truly exquisite, delicately crafted foods, well then Dongmen Market is calling your name. In the end, there really is no single answer to where you find the true heart of Taipei's flavor, because honestly, it beats loud and strong in both of these incredible places. Each one tells a different but equally delicious part of the city's story. So the only real question left is, which food adventure are you going to choose first?